So let's start. Let me briefly go over. We have a lot of things to cover today. So what are the things we're going to discuss? First, we will briefly touch on the Silicon Valley series. I think like just a few, like 2 points that I want to talk to you guys. Right? So not so much detail like a few weeks ago. So that's the first thing I want to get over. And second one, to randomly select your homework and would like you to share, think about for the secret, what do you think? Maybe like 3 to 4. For those who like to share, right? I guess it's not like the whole world secret, so you can share just in a small group. You still have these opportunities, okay? So that's homework, and then there will be a Jack Ma presentation from this group, right? And hopefully everyone watch and let's see. It's an interesting dynamic I want to point out first. It's like Chinese entrepreneur giving talk in Russia, right? So most of the time we're like watching from the Western, like UK, US side, but now it's a dynamic between Russia and China, and also the student. I would like you guys to like think about like the student asking the questions to Jack Ma as well, right? So that's the third part, and maybe we have a break, or maybe we can squeeze in on your business idea as a group, like elevator pitch. What you like to do for the group, right? Initial idea for the group, right? So that's hopefully cover the first session, and the lecture will be afterward, after the break. I will talk about lean startup, right? How do you do hypothesis-driven entrepreneurship? How do you reduce the risk? How do you make sure that the thing that you want to do is actually someone like to do, someone want it, right? It's not just imaginary ideas, okay? And lastly, almost Chinese New Year, right? For those students who are already here, I think should be no problem, but I want to read just one quick passage from Sun Wu, The Art of War, to ready for you guys for some Chinese New Year or Chinese philosophy. I would like you to pass along to students who might not be here and just keep skipping, missing the class, right? We have, I think, 31, 32 students in the class, but we have maybe maximum 25 here. So where are the rest? Not sure, right? Maybe it's your good friend, your 好朋友, right? Then you should pass along some message that I would like to read at the end of the class here. Now, okay, so let's first Silicon Valley discussion. So the deadline is just yesterday, right? Thomas, everyone submit? Yes. You didn't have a chance to watch the responses from episode 7 and 8 yet, right?
Oh, the ones that were just submitted?
Right.
No,
okay. Right. Okay. Now we will watch it, but let me just ask you guys live here. What do you think? Right? You know that some of the geographic in the world are actually somewhat gender imbalance, right? Thailand not so much, but let's start for Thailand. What do you think? Like for Thailand, adult, maybe 18 upward, 20 and upwards. What is the balance ratio for female and male? Which genders is more? Do you think? More female, Ryan?
There's more females, I think.
There's female, yes. So slightly in Thailand, not so much, 51-49, but slightly more female. But actually, during the birth period, there are actually more males born in Thailand. But through the randomness and naughtiness and accident and, because like guys tend to do more stupid things than girls. So we natural selection and then become more female than male. Okay. Silicon Valley, right? We watch some people maybe experience it. What's the ratio over there? Right? Which one is more dominant? Male. Correct. Right. So San Francisco, Berkeley, right? In that Northern California part is very male dominated, right? I give you example. For whole my life, I never have to like queue up to go to the toilet or to the restroom, right? Unlike our female counterpart, you guys have experience to wait in queue to go to the toilet, right? Guys toilet quick and easy, come out, go in and come out, and then like not so much queue, right? The only place that I have to queue up when I go for conference is actually in Moscone Center in San Francisco. I go to like Apple development when they like announce like a new iPhone, a new Mac, a new technology. And in that convention, the female lines have no queue. And then the male just have to like keep waiting to go into the toilet. That's like the first I'm like, whoa, this is out of expectation for me. That's the degree of gender imbalance, okay? Another part is China, also male dominated, right? Another things that I witnessed that is a very drastic imbalance is New York City, right? NYC, Manhattan, New York City. What do you think? Which in New York City is more female dominated or male dominated? New York City, you would think, well, no. Actually, New York, NYC, Manhattan, for those guys who are still single and still would like to find a very qualified counterpart female, I suggest you highly to go to New York City. Find something to do there, and then there's like quite a lot more driven, female, hardworking, smart, intelligent, and still single living there, right? Interesting enough, but for female, now if you would find someone smart, go to take some courses at some university there and find people hard-driven men. Okay, some side note background, but what do you think? Is gender imbalance in SB is matter? Why or why not? Right? What do you think? What do your group think? Whether it's matter or not? Let me hear from the group of student next to Mint. นี่ชื่ออะไรครับ What's your name? Winner. Your name is Winner. Okay. What do you think? Is it matter? Why or why not? What your group think?
Well, for me, yes, but that's so because like the show doesn't try to fix the gender gap.
Say again.
Like the show doesn't try to fix the gender gap.
The show. No, it doesn't matter. Just not talk about the show. Use the show as just like a starting point. But for your worldview on this gender imbalance, why does it matter? Matter in what way?
Not really sure.
Right? You have to, when you discuss it, you have to like think deeper, not just about the shows, right? Pete, what do you think? Gender imbalance.
Yeah, we discussed in the group and we agreed that, I mean, like the men in the series were too like sloppy and irresponsible, so they would need a female who is responsible to like keep them together.
Yeah, Monica. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But overall, it's gotta be these guys who like run things. Like
Right.
they have to be kept in order somehow, and the females would do it better.
Okay, you're talking about like micro running the companies and that distinct personality, not to be too generalized, but female more tidy and organized and kept things in order. I can see that, and we can use the strength of character of female on this as well, right? Okay, good. Okay, that's Microsoft. How about the other ideas? Madeline?
I think they do matter. I mean, if we look overall, there are a lot of successful startups in Silicon Valley, unicorns that are fully driven by men, which is completely fine. But I feel like because it's such a strong, I mean, what do you call it? Bro culture.
Bro culture, yeah.
It kind of creates this additional glass ceiling. There's already a very prevalent glass ceiling in the States. It makes the glass ceiling even higher because it's not only the fact that in theory any woman can enter Silicon Valley and they can be successful, but when everyone around you is men, that also it makes more women interested in the same field shy away. And I think that's the largest problem with the gender imbalance in Silicon Valley. And I think it also means that we haven't seen all the potential having more women in the male fields can do.
Okay, very nice. Very a few idea point there, but good capture. Okay, let me capture the class first. Capture the class for attendance. Okay, right, and now is 1:20 maybe. Okay, right. Okay, we keep talking. Yes. A few things. Actually, it's problematic and also opportunistic, right? Now, as we discussed about the startup idea, right? So many of the good startup need to start from the founder themselves, okay? And of course, some of the problems are gender agnostic, right? Whether female or male, you also have this problem, right? But some of the problem in life also gender specific, right? And people who start as a guy, as a male started, I only see the world through male perspective because I never been female in my life. But maybe previous life, maybe not. I cannot remember anymore, right? So that's specific worldview from the gender side. And then I feel like as a female, you gotta have an opportunity to see it from the female perspective and recognize some opportunities, right? That's one good opportunity from the female. But as Madeline say, yes, but when your colleagues or people in your communities are a lot of male, you feel like you are somewhat out of place, right? And not so comfortable into engaging because it's still, it's like gender is still have significant in terms of interaction, safetyness, etc. Right? So female have to be more cautious on this front, and yeah, that might be that is definitely be the bottleneck, the ceiling glass, as your friend pointed out that you might lose an opportunity when you feel it's not too comfortable, and then to be part of that like bro culture. Yeah, that's the detail. Now we know that's the detail. I would like you into the future think about the depth of this question. Okay, not just the show. Okay. Now, yeah. Second, third, fourth. I think I will not go into detail, just the first one, right? We will learning about the concept of MVP pivot for this class and the next class. This is part of the lean startup, right? Pivot meaning that you set out to start and hope to accomplish this specific vision, but along the way, you realize that the vision, the fact in your head is actually your own perception, but it's not matched with reality, right? The thing you think you know actually is slightly different or drastically different, and then you will not want to continue it anymore because there's no opportunity as you was hoping before you discover those facts, right? So you pivot to do something else, yeah? All right, now, so that's SB. Key terms that I want to show, a pivot, already talking, seed round, right? What is seed round? Now, seed round is a funding from angel investor, which you talked about, or incubated incubated company, right? Anyone would like to guess how much is the seed fund amount normally be? Right? Let's say starting from the standard US first, and Thailand is smaller in terms of the money amount. And how much do they ask for exchange or percentage from the company? Anyone would like to guess? Seed round. Yeah, search. Good. At least ask someone. Search. Yeah. Now, key term is there for you to do some thinking, do some research, and find information, not science. So seed fund. What do you think? Maybe Li Ying. What do you think? Seed round. What is the amount that the company, like Richard Company, want to raise total amount, and what would they want to do with this money?
So my guess would be like 1 million.
1 million unit is, what is the unit? 1 million baht. Okay. Okay, and what would you tell someone that give you this money you're gonna do with the money? Yeah, right. Someone willing to give you, you're asking someone, and what you're gonna say in return, like, okay, with this amount, I will make the company to what point?
Maybe like double the revenue, like double the current revenue.
Let's say there's no revenue yet, right? Right now, there's no revenue. There's just you and an idea, and maybe tinkering something, prototype a little bit. Yeah. Let's Ryan. Ryan, what do you?
Maybe to an MVP sort of level,
What does that mean? To the MVP level?
like minimum viable product.
Yes. And what does that mean? Yes.
Like the most basic or the most I'm trying not to say minimal, but like the most basic version of your product to be able to sell or at least market.
And then you can go out and test and get the actual feedback from the user. Okay, good. Yes. Now, Ling, actually in seed round, 1 million baht is too small, right? Now that may be called pre-seed round, right, for 1 million baht, right? From my own experiences, I went through the seed round funding, and normally it's ranging from about 400,000 to $1 million US, right? 10 something to 20 to 30 million Thai baht, right? Depend on how far along are you to prove to the investor. Okay, now from my case, I'm able to fundraise $400,000 from like 12 angel investors, right? That was 12 million Thai baht in 2013. Right? That's my journey experience. And what do you want? You want to scale up. You want to prove whether you have successfully built something people want or not, right? You want to prove that the economic formula makes sense or not. What is the economic formula? Is you need to spend some marketing, promotion to get people in. But once people are into your system, do they make enough money for you back? Right? So that's economic. Money that you spend, hopefully less than the money that you're able to make, maybe not today, but in the long term, right? Which we will talk about that later on, right? Grab willing to give you, right now Shopee Food willing to give you some free promotion. Now, hopefully they will come soon, talk to me right now. Shopee Food want to fight with Grab Food, want to fight with Robinhood, right? They want to target Chulalongkorn student. What they're gonna do? They're gonna give you guys like promotion for the first 2-3 delivery for free or some credit so that you can use it for a Shopee Food. Why they're willing to burn the money? Because hopefully once Sherry used Shopee Food, she liked it, and then she started using Shopee Food, and in 2 years, it will make back what Shopee Food invest to give her for free in the beginning, right? So that was like economic data that investor would like to see after the seed round. Hey, tell me that you figured this out. Okay, virtual signaling, signal that the company is going well, business model, how do you capture the money, and runway. What is runway? Okay, what's runway? Yeah, Jan, what's runway? Jan.
Sorry, I wasn't.
What's that? I know what's runway. Help your friend.
Yeah, it's like what business use like to take off and grow. For example, when you were saying like making that like first interaction to get the first customers.
Mm.
To the,
No, okay, not yet, not quite, right? No. Okay, runway. Runway is for companies that losing money, not breaking even. Every day bleeding out. Every day money going out more than money coming in. So you accumulate losses, right? Runway is how much money in the bank that you have, and according to the money going out, how many months you have left before you run out of all the cash. That's runway. Okay? Now for company that already break even, making profit, their runway is infinite. AIS, Telecom, True, right? 7-Eleven, runway is infinite because more money coming in than going out. But for someone who just started, you hire people, you pay for office rent, you pay yourself a little bit, right? A lot more money going out. So how much cash you need to have in order to keep sustaining, hopefully arrive at the point that is breaking even. Okay? So that's runway, and also kind of related. For someone who fundraise a seed round, they would think that within the seed round, I would hope to have an infinite runway. That means like I'm breaking even, I'm not losing money anymore. Okay. All right, so that is SV, touch base on this. And it's the last episode for season 1. Okay, it's the last episode for season 1. So you watch it for 1 episode now. I just want to ask, like, what in general, what do you think? What do you guys think? What do you like? What do you dislike about this series? Capture in terms of like running a startup entrepreneurship. Bo.
I like how they like capture the chaos of running like a startup
Mm.
company, how like things doesn't always go as planned. However, I feel like the reason that Richard is going to succeed in the end is because like he's kind of like the protagonist.
Right.
Which in reality is
Very nice.
like the case.
What Bo is talking about actually was like some answer or some question in the final exam. Like that's the essence that, like reflection from this series, what you think, or not just from watching and then get fed what you watch and then that's it, right? I want you this kind of reflection, right? So that's good feedback from Bo, and this group doing pretty well performance-wise, very nice. Okay. Anyone else? Bailey, what do you like, dislike on this series after watching the first episode, the first season?
I think it gives a good insight of like the ups and downs of a startup and how things can start from something simple and grow into something bigger. Really just ups and downs and the ins and outs of competitors and things like that.
Okay, all right. Thank you, right? Similar along the same line, right? When you just have like 2 or 3 people, it's just about speed. It's just about new idea. It's just about like just try to do it. And some people really like this period and stay in this period for quite extensive of time. Some people like it but cannot have the luxury to spend it when the reality hits, and when you have more responsibility, as we discussed in the first class now, right? As you grow up, the opportunity costs become more and more. You take on more responsibility, so you cannot stay in this Richard and Ehrlich and Dinesh and Guilfoyle for like infinite time. Cannot be like Peter Pan that you in the Neverland, flying around playing, but not taking on a responsibility, right? Okay, good. So we are onward to second season. We have episode 1 to 3. Okay, for next week. Okay, next one. Homework discussion. Let's see. Alright, so let me randomly see. Student randomizer. Actually, it's a student randomizer. Alicia, okay, right? Okay, you here. Good.
Dude, I love that.
Okay, so maybe you can share, Eileen, what do you think is, you think is your secret for you?
Maybe it's thinking in singles.
Oh man. With your sister, man?
Okay, Eileen?
Yeah.
Student stress. Are you Eileen? No. Is she here? Okay, right. That's what I thought. Okay, right. Student stress. What do you think? Yeah. You think I'm giving you this now? Yes. What do you think? Right. So right now, this is the secret for you, which I actually somewhat agree. But can you elaborate a little bit?
Like,
Chip.
you all know that like I don't know, like going to university and like you often get stressed about like different things. I feel like that is something you can take advantage of, and that's kind of part of the secret, like making something your own, like even if your life is stressful, like.
Okay, so I like that. Actually, Thomas, maybe you don't need to like create this. Now we can like mark it as a good score now, right?
I already did.
Good, right. I agree, right? People, different generation might see like, why are you guys so stressful and depressed since you're like 20 years old, right? Why people your age is not so much tough things for you comparing to 50 years ago or 60 years ago, right? But because they are not from your perspective, grew up like what you have experienced, and it's hard to tell, right? And who knows, you were born with all the internet access now. I was the last generation transition from analog world to the digital world, right? I try to remember. Yeah, it's so hard when you have everything and you take everything for as it is for granted. But there's a period of my life that there's nothing like this, right? Just paper and pen and jotting note, not like iPad. You go through that period just a little bit.
I try not to remember.
No, this one is good, right? When people with powers, with money, still ignoring about the stress of the university or the Generation Z, then there's something some opportunity in that. Okay, good. All right, now, good one. Let's see. Tania, yeah, very nice. Neil, right? Neil. Right, let's see. Tania. Huh? Nia.
Happy Hunger Games.
Neil, what do you think?
My secret.
Very nice. Good work. Some. You see, right? Yeah. Impress the professor. Okay. A bit, a lot. So what? Summarize a bit.
That's my secret.
Whatever I learned that whatever I want to achieve and to win in that competition, as long as I put my best effort into that it at all.
Mm.
But now, as I'm growing and I apply for a lot of internship and participate in many competitions, I have learned that not all effort will be paid off.
Mm.
But at least you can learn that from a failure and
Mm.
from that failure.
I see. Okay, so that's you learn, but about like ideas about secret that people misunderstand. Not so much. Right now, it's like what you are answering is your principle that you actually this one map perfectly in the mindset assignment, but this one not so much on the business secret idea. Do you understand? Do you see this? Okay, but no problem. Okay, just make sure that you guys understand the brief, because one part that I see, no matter how much credit I would like to give, for example, very nice handwriting in the final exam, but then I ask one question, but you totally misinterpret the question and then answer into a different direction, then it's hard to give the credit. But okay, it's just a small piece of the assignment. Okay, but let me touch on what Miu mentioned. As someone who been through for quite some year here to you guys. In the past, if we put our mind into it, we can achieve anything. That is true in the very strict sense. When the rule is laid out, when the playing field is clear, right? Studying, competition, right? The game is clear. People create the box of rules for you. And people who work hard and dedicate themselves, I think they have a high chance. Not guaranteed, but high chance, right? But as you go experience outside the world, right? There's no set rule to follow. So there's many ways to play. Someone plays honestly, someone plays strictly, right? Someone plays dishonestly. There's so many ways for people to achieve, let's say, we talk about we have so many ways people to achieve wealth and having a lot of money and having a nice car, nice house. But you never know what's the story behind those nice car and nice house. Is it bribery? Kokoto, Big Joe giving 100 baht worth of 10 something million so that he can exchange the power in terms of legal process, right? We never know, right? So in the future, when you judge someone, you judge from their character, from the wording, not from the money that they make. Oh, this guy must be so good, driving so nice and having everything, but in the end never contribute anything tangible to the community or the society, right? Okay, so I understand why Miu coming from growing up and changing the perspective, changing the mindset. Okay, maybe one last one. Papasan is Papasan here. Wait up. I see. I need to mark Papasan. Hey, Thomas, can you type in? Need to remove her from the class.
She didn't make a submission on this one
I
either.
see. Thanakorn. Winner. Okay, let's see. What's your idea? What's your secret? Share to the class. Okay, summarize to me. What is your secret? What do you think is secret? Still a secret?
So personally, I believe that it's not always good to try to get along with people all the time.
It's not good or it's good?
It's not always good.
It's not always good. Okay.
We try to get along with other people. It needs to be basically you're strange, you're just no valid person. You need to get that all the time.
So you say in the past you believe it's good to get along, and now you realize it's not good always to get along.
Good, yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like people is different from the social norms. Like mostly people expect it to be friendly people, feel socialized other people, it's different. It's like, even you're like different from them, like you might give like different ideas or like perspective, and it might lead to some meaningful like solution for maybe business or good ideas for startups in the future. Because like all of that is from problems or like assumption that society didn't see.
Okay. Thank you, winner. Yeah. This one I shared to you guys. The brief is similar to what Miu tried to answer, which is like a mindset shift. But it's not about what we out of the three, I hear only from Eileen about like the stress that there's some opportunity as a business to start. You understand? Let me share this one again. As we discussed, a great business idea often starts as something people misunderstand or dismiss as a joke, right? Why is it dismissed as a joke, right? Invite someone, totally stranger, come to your house and pay you a few hundred baht or a few thousand baht to stay, right? That was seem implausible, seem like a joke, seem like so dangerous. But that's the starting point of Airbnb. Because it's misunderstood, people still not really believe, which Jack Ma mentioned in his YouTube video as well, right? Famous interview with Peter Thiel. What is something you believe to be true that most people disagree with? Right? What secret do you know that others don't? Right? From what Miu and Winner said, it's about your philosophy. But it's not the secret that you try to dig up. Peter Thiel invested in Facebook. The first person put in $5 million, have like I think like 1,000x return. So crazy. What is his thesis? Given that in the past already have MySpace.com, right, as a social media. I will show you MySpace. Right? Have a few social media, but the biggest is MySpace. What is the secret behind Facebook? You're already gone. Yes. Huh?
Yeah, MySpace looks straight up here today.
Right? Yeah, MySpace. Yeah, MySpace. Right? Look very, very similar to Facebook in the beginning. Social media, a person put some information about them, try to sell a lot of ads to make money, right? And then photo inbox sent. That's MySpace. What's the secret that Peter Thiel believe and see, right? Strategic, and this is part of like strategic management. What does he see as a secret that able to fight with MySpace that during that time, I think like 1,000 times bigger than Facebook? What's the secret? Now you guys have social media, you guys take for somewhat granted. Right? In the past, the secret, the thesis for them is they believe MySpace have no real authenticity. There's no name and your credential mapped to it. Anyone can create MySpace. But with Peter Thiel and Mark Zuckerberg say like, you own this, mean that this is your passport to the social media. Right? So that was like one distinction, just one distinction that able to create multi-billion dollars company different. Right? Now, so that's again as I check your homework randomly here, I found out that 66% of the students misunderstand the assignment. Right? So I want to share that what is the assignment supposed to be, right? What secret do you know that others don't? Right? For example, I talk about my friend become a monk. He had the reason to become a monk. He knows the secret. Whether anyone else believe like him or not, no one knows. Right? But that is his secret, that he become a monk in what the temple, what Sankhavararam in near Pattaya. Right? Okay, Thomas.
Gujarat has a good submission.
Say again.
Gujarat.
Nutra.
Yeah, Gujarat. I don't know if I'm.
Have a good submission. Bunja. Okay, Ling, maybe share. Make up for a few of your friends who misunderstand the questions. Bunja.
Near the top of the list.
Bunja. Okay. Okay, what is it? Ling, share, please. About wedding planner. Okay, what do you believe?
So I believe that for a couple to sacrifice like a large sum of money for a wedding planner is unnecessary because we can create a website that connect the actual customer to the supplier or the organizer like through the website. And I think I don't see anything like that in Thailand.
Okay, right? That's good part, right? And you need to drill down into what's the wedding planner, wedding industry look like, right? So I have one experience for getting married. Okay, hopefully only just one experience, right? I did not use wedding planner, right? Because as you say, I would like to save some money and organize as like a friendly, but it's so hectic. So I understand that the wedding planner take the hectic away from you and make you like a peace of mind, right? But if you can offer something without having to pay a lot of it to the professional wedding planner, there's some opportunity there because you offer some actual tangible value to it. Okay, automated platform, because in the end, wedding planner is the one who orchestrate and organize a lot of it, right? They don't have everything, but they are the middleman, right? Bunja say, good, to link people up with some AI intelligence, you can somehow reduce the cost and revolutionize this industry as well. Okay, good. I like it, right? That's some secret that you start to see. And how can you start to see? You can start to see because you're able to touch on the new technology and hey, these guys still busy organizing and making an appointment, but you see a way to use some new technology to bypass a lot of human being and doing it digitally, electronically.
And you could even do this for events in general.
Yes, right.
Parties.
But as you say, startup narrow fielders, right? Narrow field people with big pain point, right? And then you can start generalizing it out as a bigger market. Okay, very nice. Yeah, so that's
Great work.
Good work. Now this is the hopefully you start understanding, and if you don't understand the prompt itself, you can always ask in the group, and then Thomas and I will answer it, right? So make sure that you have like the right vector to think about a problem, ask the AI, reflect on yourself, and then respond. Yeah. All right. So that's second part. Okay, right. Next one, I would like to hear it from the Jack Ma presentation, right? Okay, from Cherry, Bo, Mid, Winner, and Pal group. Round of applause for this group for presenting.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be talking about our summary and reflection on the Jack Ma's video.
So first, Jack Ma started off by explaining that Alibaba's success did not happen quickly. Instead of planning for the next few months, they planned for the next 10 years. He also believed that many people fail because they want quick and easy success. But real and lasting success take time, patience, and consistent effort. at Alibaba, they always ask, what will this become in 10 years? Not how much this will make, how much money this will make this years. This long-term mindset allows them to survive mistakes, improve slowly, and build something strong instead of something fast. His message is that if you want to truly succeed, you must be willing to work today for results that may only appear many years later. Next slide, please. Today we are used to instant result. We want quick money, quick success, and quick recognition. And social media makes it look like everyone succeeds overnight. But Jack Ma reminds us that real achievement is slow. If you think in 10-year timeline, short-term failures become less scary. A bad grade, a rejected job application, or a failed project is not the end. It's just like one small moment in a long journey. This mindset also changed how we work every day. Instead of chasing quick reward, we focus on learning skills, gaining experience, and improving step by step. If we ask ourselves, where do I want to be in 10 years? We start making better long-term decisions. In that way, long-term vision turn persistent into a real advantage.
Thank you, Mint. So let's move on to the next key point in the video. So Jack Ma once said that a great company is not one that makes the most money, but one that solves the most social problems. So he talked about the company of the century, that Alibaba didn't just build a website, but it tackled the specific problem of the 21st century through inclusivity and access. Before Alibaba, global trade was the playground of only multinationals, but Jack Ma built tools like Taobao or Alibaba.com specifically for small and medium enterprises, specifically for company under 30 employees, giving them the same reach to the customer out there. And the next point is recognizing that women are also the primary drivers of the service economy. Alibaba actively focused on female entrepreneurs and has launched programs like Rise Hers in Clown to train the next generation of women in tech. And Jack Ma also believed that those under 30 are the builder of the century. So he built the Alibaba Global Initiatives to provide professional training to young entrepreneurs worldwide. Next slide, please. So this comes to a question of whether the company should focus on social impact or profit. Because traditionally, as we all know, that traditional company focus on shareholder primacy or the profit, but Jack Ma purpose the social responsibility primacy. So we have to come to the keyword of sustainability. So the profit-first strategy often leads to short-termism, where company might exploit resources to meet quality goals, eventually leading to social or regulatory backlash. But the impact-first strategy creates deep-rooted brand loyalty. By empowering small businesses and women, Alibaba built a massive, loyal ecosystem that generated billions in revenue. So if you're building a business, you have to ask yourself that, is your business making the world better because of its existence? And if the answer is yes, so the profit will become inevitable and sustainable.
So the next key point that Jack Ma talked about throughout the video is about failure. So he says that if you don't give up, you still have a chance. However, if you give up, that's the greatest failure. So the first point is getting used to failure. Jack Ma mentioned how he has faced many rejections throughout his life, like failing 3 university entrance exams and getting rejected from more than 30 jobs. However, he viewed these failures as something like a training course rather than just dead ends. And I totally agree with him on this, because from my personal experience, when you experience failure often, it kind of gets less hurt and it becomes more familiar and manageable. And I also believe that confidence can be built through failure and not just success, because if you know how to deal with the results that might not be what you expect, or deal with like situations where things doesn't go as planned, you kind of feel like you're more confident in doing something. And this leads to like the point of being comfortable with failure. I believe that doing this can allow you to make like clearer decision, because if you're scared of failing, you tend to stay in this like safe zone, and you expect like the safe results, which might not be like the best results. And the second point is that Alibaba often study about companies that fail and not companies that are successful like Google and Facebook, because Jack Ma says that success is often influenced by random factors like the timing, the market condition, and the luck, which is really hard to predict. However, like failure patterns are consistent throughout the industry, so it is important for companies to study like why many companies fail and avoid making the same mistakes. And the key point here is to learn how to survive long enough in the market so that you have a chance to become successful. And the last point about failure, this one is the most memorable for me throughout the whole video. So he says that if you succeed, every mistake becomes legendary, and how if you fail, it's just garbage. And I cannot agree more with him on this, because looking back, when you watch like podcast video with like CEOs, you tend to hear them talk about their failures and how they need to overcome challenges and struggle throughout their life to become who they are today, and you feel like really motivated, and you feel like, yeah, you want to overcome your challenges too. However, like after listening to the video and looking back, you think like, what about companies that fail? What about like those who don't succeed? So like, their failures are, simply just failure. And like Jack Ma said, failure only gains its meaning and become inspirational after success. And if you give up midway, your failure is simply, just failure and garbage.
So moving on to this part about technology versus human wisdom. So for this part, I also would like to start with a quote that I really like. And I think it really sums up his Jack Ma's view on technology, which is machines might be stronger, faster, and smarter, but humans will always be wiser. I think what he's saying is that machines are obviously very good at things like calculation, speed, and memorization. But humans were different because we have values and judgment, which machines do not have. And because it can give you answer, but it doesn't really understand the meaning or the context or what actually matters in reality. And that's why he also say that technology should support humans and not replace them. And this reminded me that intelligence and wisdom are not the same thing. Being smart is about efficiency, but being wise is also about making decisions and choosing the directions for yourself. I also really like the idea that AI replace tasks and not people. Humans only become replaceable if we start acting like machines. So if we start doing things just like we're just gonna memorize, we're just gonna follow instruction, and we never think for ourselves, then that is when we become replaceable. Our real advantage is that it's not about how fast we can compute, but how we can think, how we can convey our message to everyone else. And because of that, he also mentioned that we should not learn like yesterday. We should not learn in the same way that people in the past did, because right now we have AI technology that can do many things, which is the repetitive task that they are trying to replace people. So competing with AI on the memorization and calculation doesn't really make sense anymore, because computer will always win at that. And instead, he encourages students to focus on things like creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence, because these are the area that humans and us still have an edge against AI. And as a university student myself, this really changed the way I think and how I view learning, because I don't think the goal of university is always just that. It's just going to train us to outperform machines, but it should help us think differently, come up with new ideas, and apply the thing that we learn in a meaningful way. Because being creative and constructive matters more than just being correct, because that is what AI can do. So overall, I think Jack Ma's message to us isn't about fearing AI, but it's more about understanding what our value is and focusing on becoming a wiser human overall, because if we're able to think and convey our message to everyone else, then we still have a chance against these AI machines.
Okay, another famous insight from the pair.
Okay.
Another famous insight from the video is that whenever people complain, there is opportunity. So in the video, Jack Ma used the example of Russia's difficult logistics system, which is a terrible system because it takes like 45 days to deliver a product. However, this poses a massive opportunity for young entrepreneurs to build a better one. He also mentioned the infrastructure first strategy, which his vision for Alibaba in Russia is to help build the underlying system, which is a modern logistic network capable of 72 hours delivery, a reliable mobile payment system, and a platform for small businesses. So the reflection for this part is to think of a common complaint you hear today, and instead of thinking of that complaint or joining the complaint, how can that problem be viewed as business or career opportunity? Next. For example, you may think that the cost of living today is rising faster than income, leaving many people feeling financial stress and uncertain about the future. So instead of just complaining or just talking about that, there are many opportunities. For example, opportunity in personal finance education, opportunities in financial literacy, opportunity in budgeting tools, and also advisory services that simplify saving and spending and investing. And the solution, you can target many different people. For example, young professionals like students, university students who need to study more about this. And by addressing this widespread pain point, businesses and professionals can create value. They can also help people adapt to economic pressures and stress.
And for the last point, Jack Ma sees career as a long journey, not something that we can rush. His main idea is that our life happens in stages, and each stage has a different responsibility that you should focus on. Instead of trying to do everything all at once, he believes that success comes from focusing on the right priority at the right time. So the key idea is that growth is sequential, not instant. Building on that idea, Jack Ma also explained that what we should focus on different ages. In 20s, you should learn fast, like find a good boss, good mentor to guide you in the right direction, to build a good habit and skill to develop further. And in 20s, you should try something new, like start something, lead a project, or like take bigger risks. And for 40 to 50, you should focus on what you are truly good at and build impact by that skill. And in 50, you should give back to the society, like support young people and share your experience to help others develop more. And for the reflection on this, or are we patient enough to grow step by step? Because most people in this day expect fast result. But the idea is we should grow step by step and focus each thing. And the second one is who would be a good boss for us? We should choose a boss that can guide you in the right direction. And that's pretty much all of the reflection of our group. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thoughts, comment, feedback from the audience. What else? What else? Okay, let's see. What else you think the group hasn't touched but resonate very well with you and you like to share? Actually, I have two points from my part, but from the student first. What's resonate well, but the group, yeah, comprehensively nice. A few additional points that I actually maybe you added on. Ting Li Ying, you add like sustainability stuff, right? That was not inside, that's not covered by Jack. Okay, yeah. I see the additional things that you put in. Anything for this? Yeah. No. Everything you have your friend capture it, every drop, capture it.
I really like that they mention learning from failure, because many times we want to learn from the best just because they do good, but I bet that they also do a lot of things that are bad. And I really like that you chose this company.
Yeah, so this one is embracing uncertainty and try your best, right? Jack Ma is actually maybe be at the advantages comparing to you guys. And why is that? Maybe comparing to the Moscow University guy, because that was like, I guess, the top university in Russia. Right? This is quite a good university, top university in Thailand. So somehow, invisibly, you guys are carrying a luggage of I'm here at Jula, right? Carry some bag in the back, invisibly, right? Carrying it, right? So somehow it preventing you from try to associate yourself with failure. He have nothing to lose. Fail the university, KFC doesn't accept him. I bet all you guys here go apply for KFC. KFC would want to accept you, but you have to like pretend, like in Thai called แกล้งโง่ a little bit, like here and there, right? Pretend not to be so smart. Otherwise, KFC will not hire you, but with a different reason, right? So, in fact, right here is somewhat at the disadvantages because you have something to lose that might prevent you, pulling you from taking some risk. Now, Bo mentioned about familiar yourself with failure. Right? I respect you, and you guys come every single session. I know. And then I would like to ask you, how do you think, how much failure are you familiar? Like how much do you feel you're familiar? In what degree, 0 to 100%, you are familiar with the concepts on the feeling, the things about like failure?
For me personally, I would say like not even 20%.
Not even 20%?
Yeah, because like right now, if we fail, it's not like your life, it's the end of your life. We still have our parents to support us. It's not like, you lose everything. But like failing for me, it's just like failing exams and stuff, which is not even failing, It's just in like this university context.
But have you ever failed exam?
Nope.
Right. So that's the thing, because but the very first class that I met with the young lady here, she asked about how hard is it for your class to get the grade, right? So I remember that. So I would like to ask you so you can reflect and think about how much failure you are familiar, even though it's a very small failure, maybe you still not that familiar as well, right? Maybe try this class. No, yeah, you are not. You guys have a good performance so far in the first, I guess, 33% in this class. We are on week number 5 now. Share it.
So maybe like to add on, I think ever since I was young, I think I failed more when I was little than like right now, because my grades in school when I was like in primary, it was like really bad, and then in high school I improved. But then when I entered university, maybe for me right now it's not about failure, but it's about the effort that I realized that maybe in university I have to put more effort now. It's like so different from high school, because from a high school I think I didn't even need to put in extra study to get like a good grade. But when I entered university, I realized in like first year that, oh no, I think I should start studying. So that was probably my first like failure. But I did not fail my exam, but it did not reach up to my expectation or like my level that I thought I would have gotten with like the same effort.
Okay, now. Okay, all right, thank you, and please go back to your seat, but still sharing the screen, I would like to,ตบมือให้เพื่อนหน่อย clap for your friends here. Thank you for your presentation. Let me say a few things before we having a break. Yeah.
We love the way you grab.
Bro, I didn't know if it was mine. Maybe they can have it. It's a tip.
It's a tip, yeah, for for the presentation. The code went to you just for the presentation.
For what?
It's right.
I think it's yours.
It's okay. I can keep it going.
Took your book and it's just
Okay, this one first. I would like to touch about female entrepreneur women, and we discussed about the gender imbalance here, right? So as I listen to the conversation, I would like to have like a quick test, no right or wrong answer, but it's just like you to reflect and see the difference, right? So I would like to ask, so let's say your nail is getting long, and then you need to clip your nails, right? It's like nail clipper, right? So I would like to ask you guys, let's say, imagine right now that you are at home and then you need to go and get the nail clipper, right? Also, for the international exchange student, think about your home, not in your small apartment. Just right now, home, back in your country. Let's say you have to go pick up the nail clipper. Who know exactly where to go in your home? Raise your hand. You know exactly, right here, okay? Who think like I need to spend 10 minutes fighting and maybe ask my mom or ask my brother or sister where's the nail clipper? Raise your hand. One or two, right? Yeah. Right now at my state, for my whole life, I was number 2, similar, right? Because you tend to be towards like sabai, relax, right? Things are okay anywhere. We don't really be that organized, but at the same time, right? But at the same time, it's also we are not like that. That's a quick test for how organized we are as like everything, right? Yeah. But after I have getting married, having my wife around, so right now my life is more organized and exactly. So hence talking about women's and right now, so I guess somehow the men here also organized, but that's somewhat the point of, that's what Monica showed, that systematic and able to run it, like keep the home, keep the life, keep the professional like organized, right? So that's one content. Now, one point that the group doesn't talk about, and then I want to point out, is Jack Ma emphasized a few times for you to accomplish something, right? You need a team of people, right? Now when he started, he had 18 people come to his apartment, right? When the group from the student asked about, how do you solve the Russian logistics, he's like, okay, try to find good people, technology people. I'm not good at technology. Find someone good, right? So he pointing about forming a group, not doing it alone. And this is something that I fall trapped into for many, many years, that blocking me for reaching higher. Right now I unlock it, my mindset shift. Right? But I want to share to you because that was big thing for me to learn through and then able to understand. The myth, the methodology, mystery, the myth about the lone wolf. Right now, many media glamorize about being a lone wolf, doing it alone, doing it quietly, keep working hard, and then one day the success will speak for itself. right? That's for many years, subconsciously, I believe in that. So I put down, head down, working hard diligently, right? And then I realized that actually being a lone wolf, even though it's, like look cool, confident in you, but in the nature itself, what would lone wolf end up? Lone wolf die in the winter alone, right? Right? Thailand doesn't have winter. Maybe it can be like what can be a good comparison for Thailand? Lone monkey, maybe, right? Monkey go as a pack as well, right? But okay, right? Wolf, you go as a pack to help each other coordinate, right? And that was resembling to what Jack Ma said. Right now, we see a movie as a lone wolf. John Wick, Keanu Reeves going it out fighting alone, right? The Equalizer, Denzel Washington, so great, killing it alone. Iron Man, doing it alone. Batman, Superman, doing it alone. Movie 20 years ago, Forrest Gump, right? You have a group of pack fighting together, right? Saving Private Ryan, fighting it as a team. But now, somehow, the media try to split people up and think like we should go doing it alone. But when you are alone, it's super weak, right? Yeah. Toothpick, one arm, easy to break. A lot of toothpick together, hard to break. Similar ideas, right? We take it for granted, but then I start to realize that your generation is being glamorized by you have to doing it alone, but actually, in fact, you have to form up for people who similar line mindset, supporting each other, helping each other as a pack to go moving forward. Right? So that's something that I would like to add from this presentation. Okay. All right. Then 2:30 now. Let's have 15 minutes, 20 minutes break. Now come back around 2:45. 2:45. Let's have the break now.